good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Elly's Ladies Breakfast Show. And also Thfc Till I Die, home of Spurs past and present. Joining me today is my co-host Kate Boxall from
Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs.
That's right. I never can get it right, Kate, so I'll get it all muddled. I must be dyslexic or something. I must be catching it off Dermot. You know what I mean? Right, so basically we're going to go through today, we're going to highlight Canada. Canada, a fantastic country, full of people, French, everybody's there, aren't they?
Yeah.
French. But the thing is with Canada, they've got a fantastic sporting nation, right? And also their football team has come to light since 2020 and before that, but 2020 was a fantastic year, which I'll talk about later, so I don't spoil the party. But hey, how are you today?
Yeah, good, thank you. Had a lovely stream last night with Derm and the crew, so yeah, feeling good.
I was watching, it was fantastic. And 1.4 thousand views so far.
I know.
Fabulous. Do you know what? We're getting very popular on Thfc Till I Die, and it long may it continue, because we really do work hard. And when we have people as lovely as you joining us, you know, it really does make our day. And you. And your husband Jim, obviously. And you know what's nice about our community? We're really well gelled, you know, and the Spurs community, and we have other fans joining us as well, which is fabulous, you know.
It is.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk about how Canada qualified for the World Cup, right? So now they qualified really quite easily, really. I'm just going to get up their details, right? So they were grouped with Costa Rica, Panama and Trinidad and Tobago, because in the CONCACAF they always play teams in their particular reasons, and they're drawn in a hat like they do in England, and they got drawn against those three teams. So the first match kicked off on the 5th of July 2022, and they won a staggering 6-0 against Trinidad and Tobago, with Sinclair, who I'll be talking about later. What a fabulous player, 40 years old as well. She got the scoring off at the 27th minute, followed by Grosso with a brace, Fleming, Becky, and Hutima, who we also will be speaking about later. That was that game. It was fabulous, and it was refereed by Katia Garcia. So it's lovely to see women referees, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that, bringing them to the forefront.
Yeah, because, you know, women and refereeing and women officiating normally, we see a regular lineswoman at Spurs' Grand a lot, and Premiership games. She's regularly, and the international matches. Yesterday I saw her when England played Portugal. But it's lovely to see some referees break into the women's game as well.
Yeah, 100%.
There was the first one at the World Cup. Right, so I hope it does continue, because, you know, women can do just as good a job as men. You know, yeah, and they're fairer. I think they're fairer, because I think the focus as well. Women do focus really well, and because they've got something more to prove on top.
Yeah,
you know, so it shouldn't be that way. But I heard a referee recently talk about that. So she said she was under pressure. She felt like she needed to focus more and prove herself more, right?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, you see what I mean, Kate? As women get more and more into it, what do you think of that? Do you think women should really feel the pressure?
I don't think they should, but I can understand why they do. It's such a male-dominated sport, or it has been for so many years. But I mean, if it's a women's World Cup, it's great to have women referees there, and they're gradually infiltrating into the men's game, which again is brilliant. There's no reason why they shouldn't be there.
Yeah, true. I second that. Right, so now we're going to talk about the actual squad that made the squad, right? So there's 23 women, as everybody knows, right? So we kick off with the goalkeepers. We've got Sabrina D'Angelo, who actually plays for our rivals. We won't mention them. They used to be called Square Dial or Dial Square, one of the two. Right, then we got Lysiane Prolux, who plays for Torrenzi. Very good goalie, but the main goalie, and has been a stalwart for Canada, is called Kaylin Sheridan, and she actually plays for San Diego Wave, but she previously played for New York Gotham FC from 2017 to 2021, and then she transferred to San Diego Wave, which is a lot higher profile team. You see what they do? A lot of the girls, they want to play for the top teams like the men do.
Yeah.
You know, so they, when they get to that point where they're excelling in their position, they'll want to move to a more high profile, more supported club, which I don't see them, and also more money in
of course.
Yeah. Then in the defenders, they've got 7 defenders chosen. The first one I'm going to kick off because I know you've done a little bit of research, Kate. Right? And her name's Kadisha Buchanan, and she's a fantastic defender. She plays for Chelsea. So let us know what you've researched, Kate, what you found out about this lovely player.
Well, I found out that she's considered one of the best defenders in the world as far as women's defenders go. She's a centre-back, 27. She made 113 appearances, 4 goals and 4 assists. She was voted Canadian Female Footballer of the Year 3 times.
Wow.
So she is a force to be reckoned with by all accounts. So she's a big presence on the pitch.
Yeah, and you need that. You need the physicality in the football, because in women's football, you've seen it with the American team. They are very physically strong, and you can have all the technical skill in the world, but if you don't overcome that physicality of the other team, they can easily beat you. We've seen it in the men's game. Look at Stoke City. They were getting result after result because they were physical.
Yeah.
You know, and they stayed up in the Premiership for so long. All right, they've got relegated now, but that's because they had a change of manager and a change of style. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the women, you know, the technical teams, I feel, will be with the technical teams with the physicality will be the ones that progress.
Yeah, I mean, Canada have got a fantastic defence, so they're very tight in defence. So that's going to work, obviously, in their favour massively.
Yeah, definitely. Then, I mean, in their defence as well, we've got Vanessa Gillis of Lyon. I think she's one of about 6 players who play in the French league at the moment. So, you know, the French league is very strong on the women's side. Yeah, they've got some really good backing as well at grassroots football that we have to catch up with, Kate.
Yes.
You know? But
100%.
we'll bring that up later as well. Then we've got Ashley Lawrence, who's a fabulous defender. She plays for PSG. Jada Riviera, she's at Man United. Now, they were close on winning the WSL, pipped by Chelsea. So they're always there or thereabouts, Man United. And Arsenal, they just dropped down the little peg this year. They finished 3rd. But those 3 teams have been dominating women's football in this country for many, many years. And it will take a lot for the other teams to catch up. Just like USA, England and Canada, and I would say Brazil and Germany and Sweden, they're the top 6 teams, I would say. France are there as well, but they're not quite there. You know, I think the other teams are a lot more stronger and they've been getting better results. And then we've got our very own Shalina Sadowski. Come on.
Come on, Spurs.
Yeah, now this is a player that I absolutely adore. She's such a committed player. She's tough. She's strong. She's our centre-back. She's our captain. I don't want to lose her this year either because there's been noises around the club that she might go back to Canada or she might go to a stronger league or even a team higher than Spurs because she deserves a break, but I want to keep hold of her because when we missed her a lot last season because she had a really big illness and it really did tell in our defence. I mean, we went 9 games losing 9 games, you know, when she was missing. So you
Yes,
can
a
see
big
what an
difference.
yeah. I mean, you know a little bit about Shalina Sadorski. When have you been to any Spurs matches recently? Any Spurs ladies matches?
No,
Or
I
have you watched them
haven't.
on the TV?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, because she was missing, you could see the defence was disjointed
Yeah.
and we leaked a lot of goals. But we weren't losing by massive margins, even against the better teams. It was like
Yeah.
3-1, 3-2, 3-0. You know, we're not getting battered, you know. So, yeah, Shalina Sadolsi and for Bobby Kay as well. Brilliant. And the last defender who made the cut was Alicia Chapman of Houston Dash. Now, Houston Dash are a very, very good team. So all the defenders come from really good teams, especially Kadisha Buchanan, because they won the league and
Yeah.
the FA Cup. So they've done the league and cup double. So she's coming on a high anyway. And she was part of the team that won the Olympic gold medal as well in 2020. So that player will be like the star player of Canada, I believe. Yeah. Even though she's a defender, she's going to get a lot of people following her, you know, because she's not just technically gifted. She's very, very tenacious. She gets stuck in. She's got a heart of gold. She goes for everything. She's good in the tackle, you know. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that
Yeah, she's
Canadian
very
defense.
passionate.
Yeah, definitely. So in the midfield, we have Marie Yasmin Aladou, who's 28. She was playing for a team called Family. I think this is how you pronounce it, Family Chayo. But
Sounds
then
all right to me.
but I think they're a team in Portugal, but they're a bit lower than Benfica. So she's got a transfer to Benfica. So all that good work she's done supporting the Canadian women's team as well and
Yeah.
playing for a club has made her recognised and winning the World Cup. Sorry, winning the Olympic gold as well. That helps every player get their big money moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really happy for her, especially. Jessie Fleming of Chelsea, well, she goes without saying. The thing is, I looked up her record. She's played 55 times and scored 9 goals from midfield. So she's not a prolific goal scorer, but her assists are really good. I saw she got 25 assists, which
Wow.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, really, really good. So she's one to watch out for as well. Then we have Simi Awuju of USC Trojans. She's only 19. She's the baby of the tournament, well, for Canada anyway. And then we have Julia Grosso of Juventus. She's only 22. Rebecca Quinn, simply known as Quinn. She goes by the name of Quinn. She's a very famous footballer. She plays for OL Reign in America. So, you know, she's doing very, very well over there. And then we got a very talented girl called Sophie Schmidt. She's one to look out for. I was reading up about her. A lot of Canadian commentators really do love her because she's really committed. And when she comes on TV for her interviews, she speaks so well, right? And she's for a young girl, she's so well balanced. And it's nice to have somebody like that because when Christine Sinclair hangs up her boots because she's 40, she might be the one who takes the captaincy.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes, you know, like in a team, if you've got somebody who's vocal and can tell players what to do and take leadership, you know, that is a very good trait in a. And I always think a midfielder or a defender should be a captain.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree. But let's
yeah.
not go on the captaincy debate. We had that last night.
No,
about the
we're
men.
going to move on. We're going to move on. And the last player who made the cut is Desiree Scott of Kansas City. So another very good player. Now, I just wanted to mention, just before I go on to the forwards, I've made a few notes about Christine Sinclair. She scored 190 goals. She's played in, this is going to be her 6th World Cup. I'm going to say a little bit more about it later, but she's the captain as well. And then you've got Kadisha Buchanan, we've already said she's one to watch. Ashley Lawrence at left back, who plays for PSG. She's fantastic. And Jessie Fleming. And the one who lost out, right, is Janine Becky of Portland Form. She was a very influenced influential player. Sorry, I don't know if you know about her, Janine Becky, Kate, but
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes, well, she made 85 appearances and she's got an injury. So, she's
That's a
going to be a
shame.
big, big miss because she's
Yeah.
another one who could be candidate for a captain band as well, because she's very well respected in the team and it's a big loss for Canada. But I think
Yeah.
they'll overcome it because Julia Grosso's taking up her role. I think she can fill her boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
was
going to
going to
move on.
say, that Desiree Scott, her nickname's the Destroyer.
Ah, yeah. Now, you know what? She is like a thunderbolt player. She
Yeah.
goes in hard. Yeah. I'm not surprised she's got that nickname, but well said, Kate, for bringing that up because
they did say that if in comparison, if they were going to compare her to a male player, it'd be Edgar Davids.
Wow, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, it's not bad, is
top
it?
Notch. She's top notch. Even with his glasses on, he could a tackle, couldn't he? Bit like Romero does for Spurs as well. But we're not going to talk about the men. We're on the women, right? So the next one I'd like to raise is the forward is Jordan Hutima. Now you've got a little bit more detail on this beautiful player who plays solid for Canada. Brilliant.
Yeah, she's only 22. She was the top Canadian scorer in the Women's Champions League before she even hit the age of 20.
Wow.
So she's played for PSG, made 45 appearances, scored 6 goals. She's just a real promising young lady to watch out for.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking out for all these players that you're highlighting. I want them to play well for you, Katie.
I think she was also the top scorer in the qualifying part of the Olympic Canada team.
Right, that's good, because you obviously the forwards, you need them to score, all right, and because she's so young as well, she's got a lot of potential there, you know. And when you get on the big stage, you can get frightened and you might not perform to your best, right? Some players freeze, other players excel. So I'm hoping that she's the one that, really, really excels.
I hope so.
Really pushes forward. Yeah. But a fantastic player. Well done, Kate, for researching her there. And then we got Chloe Lacasse. She transferred, she got a big move to Arsenal from Benfica. So obviously they've seen something they like when they've been watching her for Benfica at Arsenal. To get a transfer to Arsenal, like I said, I don't like the Arsenal, but their women's team, top notch, and they've won so many trophies. We're at Spurs, ladies, we've got to catch up. We're playing catch up.
We are.
And also, we've got to win some trophies to get the girls interested. We went close last year, but we didn't quite get past that 5th round. We met Chelsea. But you know what was unfair, Kate, that I didn't like? The teams that are in the Champions League get a bye. They get a bye. It really is bad. They should really look at that in the women's game. They should really. I don't think that's fair.
No, if they don't want to play that round, then kick them out.
Yeah, because it's not all right. You're playing Champions League football, but the men do that, and then they play in the cup games. They don't get a bye, which I thought was really off. Yeah. Anyway, that's my £5 worth said. Right. And then we've got Clarissa Larissi. Don't say that when you're drunk.
Clarissa Larissi.
Clarissa Larissi. Right. She used to play for Celtic. Right. And then she got a big move to BK Häcken in Sweden, which is a big team in Sweden. And she scored 4 times in 12 games. So she's won every 3 games. Not bad. Remember, she's just joined.
Yeah.
So the next player is Nichelle Prince of Houston Dash. She played 81 times and scored 12 goals. So not really prolific. But for Canada, she scored 13 times in 90 games. So, they're still young players.
Yeah.
Learning the game.
Exactly.
And mind you, the top scorer is Christine Sinclair. If she gets that goal, it'd be fantastic. Then we got Deanne Rose. She's at Reading. Now, Reading got relegated. I don't know if you know this, but they got relegated
yeah.
to WSL. And I was reading up to see if she had, if anybody's coming in for her. I haven't seen any news yet, but that doesn't mean that, people haven't touted her. Clubs in England, clubs in France, Germany, even America and Canada. That I haven't seen any news, but I'm sure somebody's going to pick her up, especially if she has a good World Cup and she features. Yeah, well, she's the midfield player. Shame that she got relegated, but you know what? It's a team game. Yeah, you can't put all the blame on one player. That's what
and
I
it builds character as well.
Yes, it does. And I remember. Sorry to bring up the men's game again. I remember when Steve Perriman, we got relegated, and he said it'll make men of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Go down and battle hard to get back into the old first division then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the last one to make the cut is Evelyn Vaines. And now she plays in Kristianstad, but she's on loan from PSG. Yeah. Right. So if you see someone in the comments, yes.
Yeah, just a couple of people.
Yeah. So we got a family thing going here, sort of. So I've got my husband who's I'm not going to pronounce it like that because I call him Theo or T. He said, "Good luck, my dear wife and Kate. Big up, ladies, bringing the Women's World Cup alive." Thank you there, Theo. Then we got my niece, Drula. Hello, ladies. Hello, Drula. And then we've got Wayne Bonner. Yes, come on, Wayne. Good morning, ladies. Hope you're both well.
Yeah, morning, Wayne.
We're really looking forward to this World Cup as well because women's football. It's really getting big. I don't know if you caught the England-Portugal game yesterday. It was 0-0.
No, I was out. I didn't yesterday, I must admit.
Yeah, well, I watched it from start to finish just to see who's fit and who's needs a bit more. And a lot of them needed a bit more.
Really?
Yeah, you could see it. I think the best player on the day, I would say, was Lauren James, right? And when Chloe Kelly came on, she looked lively. I think they were trying to make sure that the main players don't get injuries anyway. So, right. So we'll move on. Right. Next topic is Kaylin Sheridan. She's the preferred goalie, and that shouldn't change as she's been Canada's #1 for quite a while now. And she's a fantastic goalie. She's won countless awards, and she's one of those goalies who commands the box.
Right.
A lot of lady goalkeepers, they're quite small. She's 5'9.5".
Same height as me.
Oh my God, Kate! I'm only 5'5", so I wouldn't make a good. Well, there are goalies in the Premiership in the WSL who are 5'4", 5'5", but they're very agile. You've got to be nimble. If you're that small, you've got to be nimble. But if you've got a bit of height, 5'8" and above. Because not many women are going to go 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, but there are some, especially the Americans. They've got big goalies.
Yeah,
and it gives you a little bit of advantage when the high shots are coming.
Yeah,
because especially for your agility. If you're taller, you don't have to stretch so much.
Exactly.
To reach the goal, because the goal is massive. I don't know if you've ever stood in a goal, Kate.
I know they're huge.
Oh my God. The first time I stood in a goal when I was about 4 or 5, and when you're a little kid, right, everything's big, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the goal, then I stood in it when I was playing for my school, Drayton School. I stood in it. It didn't seem so big, but I played goalie a few times when I just didn't fancy playing. I thought I'd play goal, have a rest. Right, but you stand there, now the ball comes, you think you've got it covered, but you haven't.
No.
Right? That's where I needed a few more inches in my life. Right, let's move on. Right, midfield Canada are strong with creativity from the likes of Sophie Schmidt, who's over 200 caps, and Jessie Fleming, over 100 caps. Julia Grosso has to fill the big boots of Janine Becky, which I touched on. Yeah. So Janine Becky was a very big player for them. They're going to really miss her because she's dominant. She actually takes the game to the opposition. So I think Julia Grossi can do it, but it depends on her nerve. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, because I've played in big games before, and I've really felt the adrenaline going, you know, and you get nervous, and
It's
sometimes
I was gonna say, it's like you say, some people thrive on it and some people crumble under the nerves. It just depends how she reacts.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, do you feel like young players, especially, they could be nurtured before they go into the tournament? Go and speak to the older players who've done it before to, you know, get a good background of what it's going to be like, so that or do you think they should go in blind?
I personally think they should just go in blind. I think sometimes talking can make you even more anxious, and you're never going to know what it feels like till you just go in there. It's like, just bite the bullet and go and get it done. And so, as I say, some people would just absolutely thrive on that and be buzzing, and others will just find it really difficult. But I know personally, if someone was going to talk to me about something, it'd make me more anxious than if I just went and done it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Because
Yeah.
like when I was captain of Spurs ladies for a little while, and I felt the pressure, and I didn't want to talk to the previous captain who was outgoing. She actually left our club, right? But I just wanted to get on and do my own thing. Yeah, I was only captain for 5 games, but in those 5 games, I learned so much about myself as a player. Right,
Legend, Elly.
come on. We've got David
You're a
Clark
legend.
joining us. Hello from Leicester. And then he says, Beth England, us better than Rosso. Yes. Yesterday, right, I was screaming at the telly, and my husband said, shut up after a while, because they never brought her on. And I thought, what? Come on, she scored 12 in 12 for Spurs in a struggling team. She came in near the end of March. She joined us and she picked us up, right? She picked us up by the scruff of the neck, right? And she scored some fabulous goals. And I was screaming at the telly, Kate. I said, bring her on, bring her on, you know? Because I'm not biased or anything, you know what I mean?
No wonder your husband has to keep buying new tellies.
Yeah. I keep on breaking them. You know what I mean? I just hope I don't have to break it for the Spurs men's team this year. I want to see beautiful football, only beautiful football coming out of those. And the women, because we had a rotten season. We nearly went down. That's the Beth England's goal. Do you know what? I'm going to write an email. I'm going to write an email tomorrow or the next day. I'll have to cite myself to the England board. And I'm going to address it for the attention of Serena Wiedmann. Right?
Yes, do it.
You better play Beth England. Come on. Anyway, we've got Carl Simpson's joined us. Yes, come on, Carl Simpson, get in. Good morning, ladies. Lovely to see you in our chat. Paul G, morning. Right, and we've got Carl Simpson again. Beth England got done dirty, as that attack line for England yesterday was rubbish. Beth was needed to stretch them. True, because she's such. Do you know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of a female Mark Hughes. She can pick up the ball with her back to the goal, and she'll spin on a sixpence, and she's off. Yeah. And hardly anybody catches her. She's not got dynamic pace, but she's strong. So all the players that are trying to get to her to get the ball off her, they can't, because she shrugs them off. There was a goal against Man United. I was right behind the goal. What a goal she scored. She got the ball, quick free kick from Selena Ildesoy Bissett, and she just went on a run. And she was back to goal, She went on a run. She cut inside and just whacked a beautiful shot, curled it, but with power. And that's hard to do, by the way, to curl the ball with power. Take it from me, right? And you've got to get the accuracy right as well. So well done, Carl, for saying that. Brilliant. Good comment. Come on, Beth England. Daniel Sonderval, way. Good morning, one love. Yes. One love for THFC till I die, and Elly Ladies Breakfast Show. And I must say, I'm going to bring up, just bear with me. Right, just let me scroll down, because I'm computer savvy, but I'm not really quick. I'm a bit like Harry Kane. I'm brilliant, but I'm not quick. And that was like me as a player. I was skillful, but not very, very quick. Right, so is
Bless
this
you.
it? Is this the one? No.
Do you
No,
miss it, Ellie?
I must have missed it.
No, do you miss playing?
Oh yeah. Bloody hell. I had so many injuries, Kate, but I do miss it still. You know, I've got bruises all over my ankles. I've got swollen ankles from it. I had my foot trodden on. I had my shoulder broken by an American girl. She didn't mean it. We just jumped
Yeah.
up, she was 6 foot, bang into my shoulder, cracked my collarbone,
Oh my
and I
God.
broke my leg a couple of times as well. But I did recover, and
Mm.
I was never fast, but I was very, you know, like Kulusevski. He's got a
Yeah.
little burner pace, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he can beat players with his trick. That's me. Yeah. Or Modric. He's not particularly fast. He's not slow, but he's not
No.
particularly fast. Yeah. So where is this bloody thing? I can't find it now. That's because Dermot's put his things in there. I've got to go up a bit, and I. Anyway,
Bloody
I'll get to it in a minute. Anyway, yeah, I do miss it. And another thing I miss is the camaraderie with my
Yeah.
teammates and going away. I was supposed to go to Italy as well. My dad didn't let me go on a football tournament. So all the girls went and I couldn't go. And I was so gutted. Bad dad, bad dad. You know?
He thought it was the right thing, obviously.
Yeah, and like he didn't even let me go university either. He said, "Oh, there's too many boys there." Typical Greek dad, you know.
Yeah, protective.
Dinosaur. But he was lovely, my dad. He did support me in my football career. He was so proud. He was so proud. You know, right. Where is that bloody thing? Do you know what I'm looking for? Don't you?
My link.
Yeah, I did write it, didn't I? Or didn't
You
I
did,
say
yeah.
it?
It came up.
Anyway, yeah. Right, I'll put it in again. Right, it's www./just-a-girl-who-loves-Spurs.com.
That's it.
Yeah, look, even if you say it, it's just as good,
I
isn't
put it in private chat as well for
Yeah,
you.
put it in the private chat. Here it is. Yeah, I see it. I don't know if I can pull it from there though. Anyway, where are we? So we've got up to here, haven't we? Yeah. No, yeah. So no, we've done that one. See, I've lost my bearings now. So up front, we've got the main strikers who should start are Christine Sinclair. I'd imagine she's going to start because she's the captain. And also she's going for that world record of having scored in 6 World Cup finals. How about that, you men watching us? You know, 6 World Cup finals. So she started when she was 18, 22-year career, you know.
Wow.
Put in all her heart and soul into that Canadian team to make them a record playing player, but she also played in their Olympic gold medal triumph as well, you know, which is fabulous. And I'll take my hat off to her. She's brilliant. 190 goals as well, you know.
I wonder if she smashes the record this year, if she retire.
Yeah, that's what the talk is, that she'll retire.
Mm.
But you know what? She might not.
No.
Because she might be on such a high. You know, all she needs is one goal to have done it, and no man or other woman have done it. So
that's amazing.
It's brilliant. I think that's for the women's game, especially. You know, and I think they should, if they haven't got a statue of her already, which I would imagine they have. Right, they're not Spurs, are they?
No.
Right. I think they will have a statue of the lady because Christine Sinclair, I'll take my hat off to you, darling. You are fantastic.
Legend.
You know? Yeah, what a legend. Now, like I said, she's vying to make the score in the 6 World Cup tournaments if she scores. And if she achieves that, what a feat. What a feat.
Unbelievable.
I know, unbelievable, you know. And it's brilliant for the women's game as well to get such a high-profile player, you know. Now, I'm rooting for Shalina Sadorski because she's our fabulous centre-back. And I'm glad that she made the squad because I was worried for her because she didn't have many matches under her belt. But you see, that's how good she is because from previous performances as well, the manager, Beth Priestman, who I'll get to later, I think she's done a fantastic job with her like putting her in, because she would have been on the low. Yeah, because she was struggling all season, and she would have been itching to play and help her fellow Spurs ladies,
exactly.
overcome. Well, they did overcome the relegation, but I'm sure she was on the sidelines. I did see her a couple of times, and I shouted her name, and she said hello. Like she was with Rosella Ayan, who plays for Morocco. She'll be featuring for Morocco in the World Cup as well. And who else was she with? She was with Jess Carter. Yeah. No, not Jess Carter. What am I talking about? She was with just thinking of the girl's name. I've forgotten. But anyway, she's a fantastic player, and I'm so glad she made it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a few questions now, Kate. Get you involved more. Right. My first question to you, Kate, is: do you feel Canada have a good chance of winning the World Cup?
They've got a fantastic defence. They've got a fantastic strike force. So I think they've got a reasonable chance. I looked at the prices at the bookmakers, and they've put them at 33-1. So they're not particularly fancied to do it. But as I say, they're so solid in defence, and with the strike force as well, I think that's a little bit. I think that's a good bet. I think they've got a chance.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The defence is fantastic. I'll take you back to the men's game as well when Greece won the Euros. I know I've got Greek heritage. Their defence was fabulous. They won it with their defence because their strikers, all they had to do is score one goal, and they won the match because their defence was solid. So you can do a lot. And look, when Liverpool, the men's Liverpool team, they were solid. They bought Van Dijk. And he shored up their defence, and they won their first premiership in 20 odd years, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you've got that solid defence, like you say, they can score a goal, they can just defend that lead. So they have got a good chance. And as I say, I think 33-1 is a fantastic bet.
Yeah, I'll be putting £5 on that. I'm telling you. So touching on that, you don't believe they've got strength in depth then to actually take the tournament? You think there might be a few weaknesses here and there?
I just think when you've got teams like England, the USA, I just think they're a step up from Canada. I just think that I know that Canada won the Olympic gold, but I think USA and England are on a different level to them.
Yeah, that's your opinion, Kate. And a lot of people would agree with you because, I mean, USA, look what they've done. They've won back-to-back World Cups, and they also are going for their third one. I don't like to upset the Canadians, but they also have done well. And a lot of their players, the Canadian players, play in America. So they see the value of playing with top American girls and training, because the training regime in America is second to none, and their grassroots football is way ahead. I think the nearest to them is Australia and Sweden. Even Germany and countries like France, they're still slightly behind, but they are catching up, because they see the value of pumping money. And in England, we've got to really get our act together. So I saw Ian Wright talking about it yesterday as well. We've got to pump more money into our grassroots football to get more girls interested. Obviously, because we won the Euros, Kate. I mean, let me ask you about that as well, because this is an English channel as well. We're featuring Canada, but when England won the Euros, how did that make you feel? Oh, she's frozen. Go back out and come back in, Kate. Yeah. Anyway, I'll continue. We've got a frozen Kate. That's it. Right. So, I'm going to bring up the World Cup. I'm going to bring up the World Cup table. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. Present. Can't find it anyway. Right. So while we're waiting for Kate to come back, Right, Canada have major injuries and fitness woes, with star striker Deanne Rose and Nichelle Prince returning from significant Achilles tendons injuries, and Desiree Rose is recovering from a knee injury. They've all made the cut, but they were carrying really bad injuries, so their fitness levels might not be quite there. But there is going to be a secret match under closed doors, I believe. England are going to play Canada. I think it's on the 16th of July or the 12th of July, one of the two. And basically they're going to play each other in a pre World Cup friendly. So that'll be one to look out for as well. I think it'll be on ITVX probably if you want to catch it. Now, let me come down here. Right, next one. They've got a massive significant loss. They'll also be missing star forward and Canada striker taliswoman Janine Becky, who suffered a major blow picking up that much maligned ACL injury in the women's game in March. Now, this ACL injury is like a blight on the women's game, because I've said it in a couple of streams now that there's 6 times more likely for a woman to suffer an ACL injury. And all the sports scientists and the doctors are working on this, and club officials, in the medical team are looking at that to see if they can help strengthen that part of the leg, because the knee, it's so many tendons in the knee and it can be torn quite easily. And with the women's game, and it's becoming more impact and more fitness and more agility and more strength in the women, because the way they're training. I think what will happen is, if the sports scientists, build up do the research to build up that area and to do special training to toughen that area, I think it will help in the long run. Yeah, we got Kate back now. Yes, come on, Kate.
Sorry, I had a power cut.
Oh, don't, bloody hell. Who you with? And we'll do another email. Bloody taking my Kate away from me.
I know, how rude.
I was just talking about ACL injuries, but I'll go back to what question I asked you. How did it make you feel when England won the Euros?
Oh, amazing. And it's just like brought women's football so massively into the foreground. I mean, I've got a friend who's got 2 little girls, and they're both obsessed now with football, literally obsessed. They go to women's games all the time. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's lovely to see that it's a rub-on effect. And straight after the Euros, I noticed a lot of TV shows were like highlighting women going to schools, watching girls play, seeing what and also following it up, not just doing one thing and then forgetting about it. There's general follow-ups of how girls are getting on in football and playing with boys, playing in girls' teams, Even me, like I was at a football club just recently as a coach, and there was one girl there, just one girl. And I was, what happened? I broke my foot and I had to stop a little bit. But I noticed that girl, when she first arrived, she was a bit shy. She's amongst boys, And I bigged her up and I went over to her, had a little chat in her ear. And I said, look, you're just as good as any of these boys. Just show what you're worth. And just relax and enjoy your time, enjoy your football, because football's about enjoyment. It's not just about being competitive. At that age where you're running about like blue-ass flies, really. Yeah. And then you slowly get to know the structure of football and positioning and things like that. But sometimes football's a simple game, Kate.
I know it's simple.
The coaches overcomplicate. They do. I was teaching over there. I was teaching them how to do the deft touch, throw the ball up and trap it. Throw the ball up and trap it. Do that. And then when the ball comes to you, whatever pass has been made to you, you can control it. Because the hardest thing is to control it from the air. There's only a select amount of players that do it beautifully. Glenn Hoddle was one.
Yeah,
he was fantastic at it. He'd like get it from the sky, like boof, right on his foot and land beautifully down on his foot. And in the Spurs team, I liked Kaya Simon, our forward.
Yeah.
She had a brilliant deft touch, but she's gone back to Australia now, unfortunately. Yeah. Anyway,
I will say as well, with the Lionesses winning, the government have brought in more legislation now for girls to be able to play football in schools and things like that, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. I don't know. Sometimes you want more and more and more, but you have to take it easy, step by step. You know, step in the right direction, then another step in the right direction, and keep on pump. It's not just about pumping money. Keep on pumping the interest. Keep on pumping the enthusiasm for it. Because if you show enthusiasm to young girls, they'll believe in it, and they've got the Euros to knock off, you know, and bounce off, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the Canada manager, Beverly Priestman. She's another one we lost because she was born in England. We lost her to Canada, really, when we could have utilised her skills in England. But she's been highly successful. She led them to the Olympic gold. I just feel that, you know, we lost Jill Ellis to the Americans.
USA.
Yeah, and they won 2 back-to-back World Cups. I'm not saying Serena Wiegman is not as good, because she is, but it would have been lovely to have her experience come to England as well. You know, even if she managed USA once to come to England, they should have been thinking about that in England as well, to offer her the England job. Maybe they did. I don't know, but I've not read anything about it, and I've been researching it. So it's a shame that we did lose her, you know, because, you know, all these top coaches, they go abroad. We should be holding on to them. But now, like in the ladies' game, especially WSL, there's six women and 6 men. So I was talking to Mia about this, and she said it should be all women. And I took a step back, and then I thought, yeah, you're right, Mia. There should be all women. You know, because I'm not being like sexist or anything, but I think with women's football, you've got to encourage women coaches, you know, and get more experience.
I do agree with that, but I also think it doesn't matter what sex they are, what gender they are. It is who's the best for the job.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I do also think that it would be nice to have more women coaches in the women's game.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But it's not, if there's a man and a woman both going for the same job and the man is better, then I would employ the man, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you wouldn't hold that against him.
No.
Because, you know, because he's coming into the women's game, which is fair, because it just doesn't reciprocate in the men's game. If a woman went for a job now, would she get it?
Doubtful.
You know, like Serena Wiegman, she's led England to the European Championship. If she applies for either a championship or premiership, it's doubtful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the Chelsea manager.
It should work both ways, if you know what I mean.
Of course it should, yeah.
Right, so I was going to ask you one last question, Kate. Who do you feel will win the World Cup?
I think it'll be America again. I do think England have got a good chance, and I think they might get to the final. But with players like Beth Mead and Leah Williamson not being in the team, missing out, I just think America have got such a strong side. Probably one of the best squads around, and they'll be going for their 4 times champions. Oh, excuse me, with players like Alex Morgan and that Megan Rapinoe, is it, in defence?
Yeah.
I just think they're so strong, so strong.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I'm going to go against you in who I think is going to win the world. I actually think England are going to win, and I'm not being biased, everybody. I just think because we won the Euros and we're on such a high, and those girls are going to go out and give it their all. And when they've learnt from the last World Cup, when they lost to America in the semi-final, I think they've learnt their lesson. on how to approach the game. Because Serena Wiegman, I saw her interview after the game, and she said we were very naive, leaving gaps. And I think what she's done, she's really worked hard on filling those gaps and not leaving yourself exposed from behind. And now we've got Lauren James as our number 10. I think she's going to be pulling the strings more. Yeah. And I just feel that we've got so much talent. Like you've got Lauren Kemp up front. You've got Ella Toon. You've got Stanway. You've got, Chloe Kelly. All right, some players have retired from the team, but we've still got a lot of strength in depth, and we've got a very good defence as well, right? And a fantastic goalie, Mary Earps. She's a brilliant goalie. I reckon Mary Earps, I would say she's the best goalie in the world at the moment because of her agility. She's fantastic, you know. So I'm really looking forward to the World Cup. I really can't wait. Let's see who's joined us in the chat as well, because we've got a few more chats here. So we've got THFC till I die. That's Dermot. Good morning, Dermot. Morning, ladies. Have a great show. Well, we are. David Clark, Shalina Sadorski, my favourite Spurs player. Nothing to do how she looks. Yeah, all right. Of course. While she was on Spurs' bench for the last 4 Spurs League games last season. Do you know what it was? Because she had a really bad illness, David. I was in around the cloud because I'm Spurs Ladies Ambassador. So I'll get a lot of tidbits here and there in the press room. When I went up there, they was talking about her, and it was a really bad illness. They didn't say what illness because that's a private thing, but they said that it really did hamper her doing training. And when you don't train and then you don't play, the match fitness has to come through the training as well. So it goes in correlation. You know, I know as a player, if I didn't train, when I got on the pitch, I was like breathing heavily, you know, because you've got to do your training week in, week out, right? And because she missed a large part of training, it did really affect her. So I don't think Vicky Jepson wanted to chance her, you know, and also it would have probably jeopardised if she picked up an injury, whether she's going to go to the World Cup, and then that would have devastated her, you know. What do you think about that? You know, do you think Spurs done the right thing not leaving her out on the bench?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know what the illness was, but players know how they feel. And like you say, if she wasn't training, I think it was the right decision. And it would have been absolutely awful for her if she'd have missed out on the World Cup. Absolutely terrible. So, yeah, I think 100% they made the right decision there.
Yeah, true. Right, so we've got Carl Simpson here. Big up, Dermot. Yeah. Dermot says I've got 7 nationalities, right? And he actually made me say that I'm 45% Irish the other day, and I know. I don't know if you saw. Yeah.
I did.
I do love Ireland though, because my sister-in-law's Irish, and I've been to Ireland. My first time I went was in December last year, and I met David Harris, and Dermot came and met me at my hotel with my husband, and it was brilliant. We went and had a steak dinner. It was
lovely.
Fantastic. They warned me about all the roads that are a bit dodgy in Ireland as well. And I visited the Guinness factory. And
wow.
Dermot's got a running joke about that and probably put it in. But I just love Ireland and the Irish people. They're so warm, you know. And, I've got a Greeks in my heart. Yeah, the Greeks as well. You know, we're good at smashing plates, and we're good at a good souvlaki, not a kebab because that's Turkish. Nothing against the Turks, but our one's souvlakia. So if you're coming round my house, you're having souvlakia.
I'm on my way.
Greek salad. Now we're famous for our Greek salads.
Amazing.
We are. And like when you have it in Greece and Cyprus, there's something about the fruit. You know, the tomato is a fruit. Most people think it's a vegetable, but they're wrong, right? There's something about the tomato, because the sun's in them. They're so rich in flavour. Beautiful. So anybody wants to come round for a barbie,
I'm coming.
Welcome. Kate, you're the first one on the list. Don't worry.
Lovely.
You've got your husband saying, hi, Mia. Hi, ladies. Hi, Mia. Lovely to see you in my chat. And Kate says hello as well. David Clark is midday, top of the morning, lol.
Top of the morning.
Yeah, but the thing is, I asked David and Dermot if they say that in Ireland, and he says no. So don't say it, Elly, when you come over. They warned me. Right. What's that one? Right, here we go. Another chat. I thought you said I did love Ireland, Elly. Yeah.
Yeah, because you said I love Ireland.
I do. I love Ireland. I love Ireland because of the people and their passion for their sport as well. They love, like the ladies' game. I don't know if you know this, but they've moved it. They've moved it to another venue in Australia so that they can house the Irish coming over.
Really?
Yeah, they've moved it to a bigger venue. Yeah, because there's going to be thousands of Irish descending to support their girls. The girls in green, come on. Right. Then we got You Never Beat the Irish. That is true. That is true. I'm not going to argue with you today, Dermot. And then we've got David Clark saying hi. Yeah. Right. So what I want to do now is I want to talk about the actual manager as well, because I've done a little bit of a profile on her. Right. I know it's on my phone because it's too much to write on there. Right, let me just get it up. Here we go. So Beverly Priestman, she was born on the 29th of April, 1986. She's 37 years old. So a very young coach, very, very young. She was born in Consett in England, right? And she managed the under-17s for Canada, the under-20s for Canada, and she was the England assistant in 2018, 2020. So we did actually tout her. Right, and she was England's assistant, but then we lost her. I forgot about that. See, so I wasn't doing my research properly, Kate. right. Then the managerial career. After she finished with England assistant, she went and managed the full team in 2020, where she won the Olympic gold, which is fabulous. You know, to win any big tournament is fabulous. You know, and I just take my hat off to the lady, because to go to another country, to leave your country and go and, you know, always manage from a young age as well, under 17s, under 20s, and then get the England assistant job and then manage the full team in Canada. You have to know your business, you know. And, you know, she's one of those ladies who's very demure. I was reading up that she doesn't like the limelight too much. She likes to stay focused, you know, and that'll stand the Canadian team in good stead, not to get too carried away, you know, to keep the girls grounded and go in with a good mindset and a good heart that you could possibly win it, you know. If those girls turn up and the defence holds solid, like you said, I think they've got a very good chance. Right.
Elly, did you see Jim's question to you?
Right, yeah.
He said, Elly, did you play for Spurs?
Yeah, where is that? Yes, I did. I did play for Spurs ladies. I played from 12 years old when they spotted me at Drayton School. I was playing in the boys' team, and I played till I was about 26 really. I was 26 when I hung up my boots. I just found it too hard because the injuries really took their toll on me, especially the shoulder one. The leg ones I recovered from very quickly, 6 months and 8 months, you know. But I didn't get an ACL injury because I've got thunder thighs. In my family, my niece will vouch for this. My niece Drula, who's in the chat, it's called the Loizu legs because my maiden name is Loizu, and I like my maiden name because my Greek married name is Gagurados. No one's going to pronounce that. Loizu's a bit easier, right? Yeah, so I played for Spurs ladies, and I was a central midfielder, and I was captain for 5 games as well, which I liked. I did really like the responsibility, but I was glad to give it back because, you know, when you're captain, you've got a lot of things on your mind going into the game as well. So you have to be that special leader. I think Mia and yourself would be brilliant captains if you were playing football.
Really?
Yeah, because you got that tough edge. Do you know what I mean? You have to be in people's faces telling them what to do, and if they've done wrong, you have to tell them. I'm a bit of a softie.
I do that to Jim.
Now I'm a little bit of a softie because I grew up with boys, right? So I did have a hard upbringing, you know, growing up with 7 idiots. My niece will vouch for that. 7 crazy idiots, right? But yeah, I really enjoyed my time, and you know what I regret? I regret not playing enough games, like, because what in those days, right? We didn't really have a proper league. It was a good league, but it wasn't like structured like they are now. Like the WSL is so well run, you know, and it's organised, right? So, like sometimes I would like feign injury not to play as well. Sometimes because like you'd go and then the game would be called off. Or you travel a long way, Kate, and then the game would be called off, and it disheartens you. You know, it takes away the juice of being a footballer. You want to get out there and play, and then when you're let down, and so many matches were like that, you know, because it wasn't really an organised league. But I did have fun, and I really enjoyed my football, and I was a very skillful midfielder. Like I said, I was nimble. I was very slim then as well. I was like 8 stone, right? But I had really big legs, right? And probably 6 stone were my legs. It's still like under thighs now, right? Yeah, so I enjoyed my time, Jim. But thanks for asking. That was a fantastic question.
He wants your autograph now.
I will give it to you. Don't worry. I'm not that big-headed, but you know, I like to sign my autograph. You know,
Bless you.
You've got David Clark saying, "Not bad weather, a bit crap in Leicester. I may run into Winks if I pop into town." Yeah, he might have his pink shirt on as well. It's pink. He looked good in it, though. He really did look good.
He did, yeah. He did.
No, not sure about that. That's me saying. Right, David say, lol. They're all talking to one another now. Was you a Gil Messi? Gil Mark 1? No, do you know what? I was skinny like him, but I was stronger than him. He gets knocked off the ball. I never used to get knocked off the ball because my legs were strong. You know, like Bernardo Silva in the men's game. He's slight, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got big legs. Same as Modric. They're slight, small players, but they got massive legs. Because they worked on it. Well, I just have them natural. They probably worked in the gym to get them like that. Nimble Elly. Yeah, that is true. I was very nimble. I used to weave in and out of the players. Yeah, and I created a lot of goals and I scored some worldies as well. Really good goals.
Wow, Elly, you're a ledge.
Enough of me. Let's get back on the Canada team, right? So I would like to end off actually by, well, I really should have said about the quiz. We've got a quiz going, haven't we?
Yes.
And Jim's entered already. So, yeah, but I'll put you in again, Jim, because I know you do say other things when you enter things. But you say the question, Kate.
Yeah, to win a genuine signed, it is signed, isn't it? Emerson Royale shirt.
It's genuine as well.
Yeah, the question is, what was the name of the song in the 1980s that was released by Glenn Hoddle and Chris Waddle? So, yes, that's the question.
I'll put it running down the bottom. And it's only £2 to enter, everybody. So get them in before we end the show because it all helps and it's all going to charity, by the way. So we want to raise as much money as we can. It's for the Irish Cancer Association in Ireland, obviously. And we're going to pick another charity. I think the boys are going to decide very soon about that because they're Philip Brady, sort of the bank manager of all the money coming in, and he'll make sure that everybody gets a fair deal, you know, when winning the thing. But we've already got an entry from your husband, so we'll put that one in.
Excellent.
I know he wants to win it, and you know what I mean. It's really good. It's like Emerson Royal. He's one of those players that he's warmed most of the Spurs fans to him now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it's not just because of his enthusiasms. His performances have been fantastic as well. Yeah, so I was on the stream last night, the Free Spurs boys, and they were slating Højbjerg and bigging up Emerson Royal. Yeah, but I can take it. But the thing is, with me, I like protecting Højbjerg because he's my favourite player.
Yeah.
Well, next to Kane. Kane's my favourite. Højbjerg's my second. But Emerson Royal, he was a bit of a stinker when he first came. And now he's gone good, whereas Højbjerg's been quite consistent.
Yeah.
So I was just saying that to them, but it was like hitting deaf ears.
Well, it's a bit like Xhaka. I mean, he was a bit crap, and then he had this resurgence, and it's the same sort of thing for Royale. And I think fans respect that when players can come back and try and win the crowd back over.
Yeah, true. I think a lot of players in the ladies' game as well, they've had, especially Spurs girls, they've had quite stinker season, but they are better than what they showed. It's just they had a lot of unrest when Rianne Skinner got sacked in March, and then they had to adapt. Yeah. We'd lost 9 games, Kate, so you don't blame the club, but if they'd stuck by her, I think we would have gone higher rather than lower, because our form dropped. Not as bad, but it dropped near the end. We were struggling to stay up, but those 9 games that we lost, but we had highlights because we beat Brighton 8-0, and we've done really well in the cups. We beat Coventry 5-1 in the Women's League Cup, but then they brought in Chelsea, and then we lost to Reading on penalties 5-4, so on a rainy day. But penalties can go anywhere, can't they? They can go anyway, sorry. So
yeah, of course they can.
Yeah. So, do you know what? Spurs ladies, I think they're going to have a better season. They need quite a few signings, though, especially in defence. Because if we lose Shalina Sadulski, which I hope we don't, right? But she might be getting homesick. That's what I read. That she's a bit homesick, and she spent quite a long time at Spurs so far. But either way, let's talk about Canada. Now, Canada, I personally think they won't win the World Cup, but they'll give it a good go. I think England are going to win, and I think it's going to be, because I think England will beat Canada in the last 16 because they're going to meet.
Yeah.
So I just feel with all the World Cup groups, I'm looking at all of them and who I feel might get through. And I think England have got the easier passage. So I think it'll probably be England-USA final.
Yeah, me too.
It depends on how they seed it now, because we might meet them as well. I haven't checked on that, but if we don't meet them and it's in England-USA, we've got some revenge to pay back, haven't we?
Exactly.
And I think the Canadians might be rooting for England.
I think so too.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, God. Right, so we've got a few more chats. Let me just read the last few chats. So we got, hold on, let's go a bit further up. Right, David Clark saying, I've supported Spurs since 1961 and have only had one player's name on my shirt. Can you guess who it was? I think it might be one Jimmy Greaves, possibly.
He said he's a more modern player. I'm going to go Dembele, Moussa Dembele.
Oh, right, he said it's a more modern player.
Yeah. What a ledge he was.
Or maybe Glenn Hoddle.
Maybe.
But that's back in the 80s, isn't it? He left in 87 or 89. When did he leave? 87, I think he left. Oh, we've got Aaron Dubs. Hello, Aaron Dubs. Lovely to see you in our chat. David Clark and Dean Austin. Right. So he thinks it's Dean Austin. David Hoddle. That's who I think it is. Because I can't think of any better player. Only Ozzy Ardiles. I would. Yeah, but it might be. Well, let's see if David Clark's revealed it. No. Jim Boxall, your husband, Gaza. David Clark, no.
Ginola?
Levy.
Levy.
we got to get a reveal.
Yeah, come on, David. You need to tell us before we go.
Defoe, no. What's the next one? David Clark. I only had one name jersey. Defoe. Oh, that's Aaron Dubb.
Bale.
Wayne Bonner's
King. Ledders.
Oh, nobody said Ledley King. Wayne
No.
Bonner said Modric.
Lovely
He wasn't the
Ledders. What a
Queen.
ledge.
Ah, do you know what? Ledley King, what a fantastic defender.
Lovely man as well.
Such a lovely man. Do you know when I go on the Spurs tour, I'm going to make sure Ledley King's on my one because you can pick your player. Right?
Really?
Yeah. Right. You go on the Spurs website. At the moment, they haven't loaded it because I've checked it. You go on the Spurs website and you choose the player that you want to go on the tour with. Like you can go on Ozzy Ardiles and Ricky Villa sometimes goes. Martin Chivers. Who else goes? Gary Mabbott. Ledley King, obviously, and Mickey Hazard goes. Mark Falco, I think he's joining because they're all ambassadors, is she, for the club. So Steve Perriman, he's not an ambassador, so you're never going to see him there. But he does sometimes go to the matches, very rarely though. He hardly ever goes anymore. He went to when all the Irish contingent came over from Ireland for the Milan game. Right, Steve Perriman done a halftime talk, and he was talking about his goal against AC Milan in the UEFA Cup. Yeah, come on, we won it that year. Woo! And you know what? He didn't play in the final. He was he suspended? I think, or was he injured? I think he was suspended.
Wow.
I think he was suspended. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So what we're going to do? We're going to call it call an end to the show. But thank you very much for joining me, Kate. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and we'll do this again real soon. The next team I want to do is Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden. We might play an ABBA song if we can get away with it. But thank you very much all for joining me and Kate. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. And thank you very much for everybody who joined us in the chat. We really appreciate your support. And get over to Kate's. I can't find it, Kate, but I'll say it's www./
It's youtube.com/just-a-girl-who-loves-Spurs.
That's it. Get over there and support our Kate. Get over there. She's she's got a brilliant channel. She's just started it. Was it a couple of weeks ago?
A week
ago. It seems like a couple of weeks.
I know.
Right. But she's always in our chat being supportive with her husband, Jim. And we love her to bits on Thfc till I die. She's absolutely brilliant. Right. So thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you again for the Sweden game. Right. Now, what I'll do, I wanted to do what Dermot does at the end as well. You know when he plays that guy? Here it is. I think this. That's Kate and her husband when England win the World Cup. Sorry. Come on, England.
Come on, England.
Come on.
Oh, it's lovely.
Brilliant. You know what? I was a bit nervous, but I hope it didn't show too much.
No, it didn't show at all.
You know what it is? When you got someone like you in there, it made me less nervous than my last show.
Yeah,
when
I agree.
You're on your own, you're just reading stuff. Yeah.
Oh, Elly.
Yeah.
We're still in chat. We haven't ended it.
There we go.